Again, I want to reiterate because I know I'm gonna get my ass chewed out. All right, we're back with another segment. We're gonna start this new segment, right? I wanted to start reviewing some TikToks that I've been looking at, because TikTok is a rage, man. If you're not on TikTok, then you're missing out on like half the world. So I'm gonna show you a TikTok. I want to sort of give you my impression, right? Because I've been cooking up this conspiracy in my brain about it. Right?
Oh, look at him!
This conspiracy. This is
now you're a conspiracy theorist now?
And yeah, I mean, this is more geared towards the manosphere, but all right, let's take, and it's also geared to economics, right? So let's take a look and yeah, we'll give our opinion.
Is $2,000 a month, and my rent is $1,660.
Sadly, this is getting to be the story of pretty much everybody out there. I haven't rented since I was in my 20s, so I've been out of the housing market forever on this shit. But I tried to help my niece get a place about 6-8 months ago, something like that. And she was telling me everything she found was $1,900, $2,300, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, sweetheart, you just let me look for you. There's something out there, $500-600 a month.
Retard.
It's decent. I'll find it. There's not. Like, how? I mean, why did we get to this point? Why is just a decent place to sleep and cook and survive exist? Why is it $3,000, $4,000 a fucking month? I mean,
so all right, let's take this guy out. So here's what I'm thinking, right? Like I suggested at the beginning, this is more geared towards the manosphere sort of content and economics. Yep. So why is rent so damn high? People can barely afford rent. Now, I remember a time. I remember my dad used to tell, all our dads used to tell us, there was a time where, our grandfathers were the head of the household. They were the breadwinners, right? And under them, you can own your home, right? A big chunk of land, own that home. Your kids had a good, solid education. You're bringing food to the table, right? And maybe you could own a vehicle. Back then, they were kind of, flimsy vehicles. I don't know what they cost, and you'd probably die in them,
100%.
all the time.
No safety at all.
But everything, the whole market, the whole economy was sort of conditioned under the idea that there was one breadwinner in the home. What happened? So this is what I'm thinking.
I'm involved. The blame files.
This is what I'm thinking. Let me land this plane really quick, and then you guys can tell me what you think. Now,
you said GTA though.
So what happened? Back then, everyone, every man could support his whole household with his own income. Then women wanted to work. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad thing that women want to work. It's great that you guys want to work. It's great. But we have to remember, every choice that we make, everything, whether it's good or bad, comes with consequences. There are things that will change, right? So women entered the job market. It wasn't a whole lot of them. It was a little bit of them, right? But these women added to the household income. So what does that mean? So what? You know what happens, right? Now, when these two income families enter the market, let's say the housing market, right? Now they're more competitive, right? And now they're more competitive against the traditional family where only the man makes the income. So what happens? More women enter the job market, so that way their family can be more competitive in the housing market. Now, I'm not saying this is the only reason, but this may be a very crucial reason why we can't afford rent on our own. If you think about it, the market back then was conditioned to support or conditioned to only provide housing for just families with only one breadwinner. Yeah. Now we see the housing market. You can't rent unless you have at least two sources of income in the household. Either you have a part-time job, or your partner works, or you're one of the lucky few that makes a living where the income is so significant that it's almost like you have two sources of income, right? So think about that. Why is the rent so high? Because the market has now stabilized to a place where now the only way to afford housing is to make enough where it's almost like you're two people, right? And that's what we're seeing across the board. How can we afford this? I can't do this on my own. Of course not. Because when women entered the market, they increased the competitiveness, right? They increase the competitiveness. So that's my theory. Of course, there's inflation, there's other factors, but I think women entering the job market, right, and increasing the household income, right, made it more competitive to the point where now you can no longer, it's very difficult to rent on your own, let alone buy a house by yourself. Most of the time, you need a co-signer. Back then, they probably didn't even know what co-signers were. What the hell is a co-signer? If you can't afford it, just don't buy it.
Yeah.
But now, most of the time, you need a co-signer.
Here we go.
McDonald's Wi-Fi.
Oh my God. We're trying to run a show here, brother. What's going on?
No. He's confused. He's like, wait, what happened?
Oh my God, yo.
Is he frozen? Yeah.
I don't know.
Hey,
he'll come back.
Twice.
He'll come back. Blink twice.
Okay? You all right, bro?
Oh my God.
This guy.
Oh man.
So
listen,
I mean, give me your opinion.
Honestly, I've never heard that perspective before.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say it's a very compelling one. Because you're right. I mean, before it was just the man.
Oh, guys, I have a gig.
The fact that now
I think it's my computer actually. I don't even think it's the Wi-Fi.
This guy is like 2 minutes.
Go.
It's not.
Go. Oh my God. Yo, you know what? I lost my computer actually. I lost it. That's it. Thank you. I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate that. Nah. But all seriousness, that's a very good point of view. Because again, we always go toward inflation. We always go towards people use a lot of credit instead of using their actual money that they have. So they depend so much on having credit that they want to spend everything using the credit, and it kind of pretty much blows everything out of the water when it comes to pricing. But as far as bringing another person into the equation, which that's being your partner, with this another additional income, you're right. Someone that is by themselves wants to put an offer on a $300,000 house, can only afford a minimum down payment. Someone else is going to come in like, hey, listen, I'll give you a bigger down payment because my house can afford it, my household. Now I'll outbid you on that house. Next thing you know, what does that do to the rest of the market surrounding that house right there?
I think
exactly.
To the roof.
Especially back then. It was very competitive back then. It was a new phenomenon. It's like, whoa, women entering the market. And now if you're a man, you're like, well, honey, we only make $20,000 a year. But if you were to pitch in another 5, maybe another 10, maybe we can start outbidding all these other families where their wives don't work. You know what, honey? I think you're right. Maybe I should start working. Next thing you know, every woman has the same mindset. They're like, oh, you know what? Maybe I should start getting into the market. Next thing you know, prices are like, whoa, now there's 2 incomes. Let's boost up these prices because there's more money in these houses.
Yeah.
I
mean, what houses? Do you think that women going to into the workforce was a smart thing? If you look at it now, hindsight. I know it's a tough topic to discuss, but I mean, like you said, everything has repercussions.
Baez, what do you think?
He wants to decode that. He was like, no, I don't want no parts of it, yo.
What do you think, Baez?
No, my thing is, I'm probably gonna sound like shit because I fucking keep disconnected. My shit is, I think it has to do one. People want to live beyond their means. See, I disconnected.
Oh my God, I can't take it seriously right now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Baez had to drop off. The McDonald's down the street was closing down, so he unfortunately he had to go. So Carlos, you were asking me, was this a right move? Was this a good move, for women? And again, I want to reiterate because I know I'm gonna get my ass chewed out because I'm saying that I'm almost implying that the reason why we pay so much rent is because women work. And I'm not saying that's the whole reason. I'm just saying it's been cooking in my head. It's like, man, there was a time where my grandparents, right? My grandmother didn't have to work and my grandfather supported the whole thing. So what happened? That was only like 100 years ago or something. But that's what I'm saying. So was it a good move? Look, I think that women getting a job was a good move. Like, of course, there was wars, there was women becoming widows. They had to do something to take care of their kids. They had to be the financial breadwinners in a lot of situations. So of course, women getting a job and being able to support their family in some way, or at least help, is good. But there's obviously consequences, and the market takes advantage of these events.
That's the key word right there. It takes advantage.
Yeah, I think the market took advantage. The market saw, whoa, 2 incomes, 2 incomes, and on top of that, not only is this other income growing, it wants to, outperform men in a lot of places. So now the market is seeing this and like, look, we got to adjust our prices. We can't rent out an apartment for a 1 income sort of household. We got to rent out the apartment for 2 income households because we're losing out on money ourselves. We know they got the money, right? We know they got the money. So I think, in my opinion, it's, I think we got to let the audience decide. Was it a good move that women got a job? Because we're kind of seeing the ripple effects, decades later. When you think about it, cars are so expensive. Everything is just so expensive. Why is everything expensive? Because when you have a 2 income home, you can sort of get by. You can get by, but if it's just you, of course it's going to be difficult. Of course, because the market ain't for single people. The market is for families
and roommates.
And roommates. And now, don't get me started on roommates. This roommate epidemic, especially in New York and in, high density cities, where now it's like you have apartments where you have more than 2 sources of income. You got, there's a source of income
to some degree.
Yeah, you got a source of income from every bedroom, Correct.
And now it's either I can get $2,500 in rent, or I can rent it to 6 people and rent, and charge them $800 a piece.
Exactly. Now, do you think we would still have the same issue if women never entered the market, or the job market, I should say?
I mean, to go back to your original point, I don't think this is the sole reason why it's the way it is, but it is a big part of it. Would we have this issue? Probably not, to be honest. And the reason why, if we do have inflation, I don't think it's going to go that much. Because again, there's going to come a time where they know, listen, one person can't pay everything. But if everybody's in the same boat, they're going to have to lower the prices. Just like everything else, supply and demand. If the demand is there, they're going to put the price up. If the demand is not there, they're going to put the prices down. So to answer your question, I do think inflation was going to happen. I just don't think it'll be to this degree.
Right. Yeah. Prices wouldn't be this crazy. I think, we wouldn't be having like individuals saying rent is so high. I think maybe we'd probably say like, we'd be probably seeing like families saying, it is difficult on just one salary, but we're getting by. But you don't even see that. You're seeing 2 income households struggling a lot of times. I see like 2 incomes barely scrapping by, because again, it's so competitive. It's so everybody wants to make 6 figures. What is that gonna do to the market?
Imagine making $100,000 in New York. That's nothing.
That's nothing in New York. That's nothing, especially when how much I know the rent in Boston, right? 1 bedroom is on average $2,700. $2,700.
If you're looking for a studio, it's $2,100. That's crazy.
That's wild.
Yeah,
that is wild. Now, again, the women are gonna chew me up. oh, you're blaming women because of the rent and
It's
blah,
your
blah,
fault.
blah, blah. It's all no, it's not women's fault. I'm not saying it's women's fault, but this has been brewing in my mind why so much has changed in like 100 years. You know, so much has changed. Like my great grandfather could support the whole family. Now you see men can you don't see a lot of men supporting the whole family
too. I think is so much has changed, but also standards has changed.
What like living standards?
Yeah, like everybody's trying to keep up with the Jones. So even if you could afford whatever you could afford, you probably don't want what you could afford.
Right. Everyone, especially with social media, you're getting exposed to so much, and now you're getting like the FOMO, like this whole fear of missing out on this experience, and you really don't want other people to know that you're missing out. So let us know. Do you guys think that it was a good move for women? I'm talking about like for the economy, that women enter the market. Of course, there's also this whole aspect that now the economy could tax a whole nother, a whole nother population of people. Yes, that is also true. They of course the government wants more people working, of course, but we have all these consequences now. Like everything's so expensive. So let us know what you guys think. Am I striking gold with this? Can y'all add something to my? I'm always open to change my mind. I don't know about this guy. This guy.
I don't know about that. You got a fraud over here.
But let us know. Like the video, subscribe, and then we'll hit you with another banger next time. This is the Man Cave. We out.
Yeah.